Hi and hello, Watch fans, and welcome to another edition of the Real Time Show.
Oh, you're already recording.
Oh, shut up.
Sorry.
With me and this other guy, this reprobate who's grinning from ear to ear at me from the seat to my left. Rob Nodds, your friendly neighbourhood watchmaker, recording for the Time to Watch's event at Villa Sarasan. It's 2025. Tom Van Willick is sitting next to me. He's from Airain, Lebois and Co. And we've just been having a discussion of how to pronounce the names of your brands, which fall underneath the umbrella of CDM Lec.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You see, I really got into the whole CDM Lec thing.
Yeah.
So CDM Lec is like a company that overarches both brands, right?
True. Yeah.
Okay. Tom, welcome to the Glass Igloo, which is, if this were an igloo, it would be a puddle today because it is absolutely steaming hot. How do you feel?
I think we have to rename the igloo.
Yeah, the puddle.
Like, yeah. But I'm feeling well.
Yeah.
Still.
You look well.
Yeah.
You look fresh.
There's someone that gave me a tip. Don't drink too much.
Yeah. Good advice.
I took that advice. Yeah. And it helps.
Certainly on a day
at least, don't drink too much alcohol. I did drink a lot of water. So
yeah,
and coffee.
Would you like some water, by the way?
I have water inside this cup, actually. The Lebois & Co. cup.
Lebois & Co. Okay, so...
And it also keeps the water cold.
It keeps the water cold.
It looks like coffee hot.
I mean, if that's not got coffee in it, then normally people drink whiskey out of cups like that to hide it from their peers.
We'll do that later.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about your watch brands. 2 brands. Why 2 brands?
It's accidental.
No, I mean, how do you find a watch brand?
No,
by accident.
I had to explain quite a couple of times. It wasn't intentional, and by the time I was able to purchase Airain in 2020, Lebois & Co. was really not up there where it should be, and maybe still not. But the opportunity came, and it was just too good to let go. So yeah, that's why we have 2 watch brands. But it's nice. They're complementary to each other. They don't overlap, and I think it's important.
Fundamentally, they're both approached in the same way. You are reviving old names, and you're making watches very closely inspired by the heritage pieces of these 2 brands, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Lebois & Co. is more dressy.
Yeah.
Dressy chronographs.
Definitely, yeah.
Visual corollaries for people in the industry that haven't heard of Lebois, you could say maybe similar to Excelsior Park, or maybe something like an old Vulcain chronograph. And I mean that in the best possible way, because a fine heritage from both those brands as well. Airain is more sporty. There's like dive watches and pilot watches.
Yeah, I would say toolish.
Toolish, yeah, that's a much better way to describe it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So you've got similar Fliegers, like a Type 20 style Flieger, and then you've got the Submarine, which is the dive model, which looks very similar to something like a Glacétor CQ, an old, what do you call it, skin diver?
Skin diver, yeah.
And you've got that incredible crown cap, which we'll talk about in more detail, because I love that because it's a rare thing and it's really fun. And it's a
little funky, yeah.
It's a little funky, yeah. Okay, let's start with Lebois & Co. because Lebois was the first one of your brands that I encountered years ago, and I think we must have met at a Time to Watch's event once upon a time, perhaps.
I think that was the first time when we met. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're a Dutchman, living in Venlo. Almost close.
That's where headquarters is as well.
So that's in the very eastern part of the Netherlands, pretty close to Dusseldorf in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so close to Germany, yeah.
So with my involvement with Fratello, of course, in the past, we had a lot to do with each other in terms of coverage because obviously you're a hometown hero.
Yeah. Oh, hero.
Oh, well, we think you are. We love you. Tell us about the Lebois & Co. story. Why did you didn't buy it by accident, obviously, so why did you pick it up?
Well, so having sold my small IT company in 2011, I went to work as an IT professional, but the entrepreneurship, went ways that it shouldn't have gone, maybe. So I was still interested to do something, and then my Then girlfriend, now wife, came up with the idea like, why don't you trade some watches? So I started doing so.
Is that why you married her? Because she's obviously got her head screwed on.
I think so. I never thought about that.
Good choice.
That way. It's a good choice. She's a very sweet woman. Sweet girl.
She'd have to be to put up with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. She's now home with 2 kids. Yeah. So respect for her. So I mean, I came up with the idea after having been dealing with some watches, Omegas, Tag Heuers, some Rolexes, to go more into the watch industry. I mean, actually, the thing that makes me happy is to make people happy with a watch, maybe a product, but now in this case, it was a watch. And what is more exciting than making people happy with a watch that you have designed and came up with yourself? But I didn't want to put my name on the on the dial, so
as well, no one can fucking say it. You know?
Is that?
I'm kidding. It's lovely. Honestly, I've known you for years, and I really do love you. I think you're one of my favorite people in the industry. We always have a great time together. Brilliant sense of humor. Obviously, we're taking a piss out of each other on air, which is
absolutely
exactly what the Time to Watches or event asked us for, rather than just like absolute professionalism. But I still misspell your name. I always get the L and the J the wrong way around.
Please don't say Wilczyk or something.
Wilczyk.
Willik.
Willik. Is it Willik or Willik?
Willik. But you can say Weilik as well.
Weilik.
Might also be okay. Yeah. Tom van Willik.
Tom
Van Willik.
Van Willik. It's a cool
name. It's Tom van Willik.
Everything to do with you, Tom, is hard to pronounce.
Yeah. True.
Why should you do that to us?
It's fun. It's fun.
Anyway, look, I understand the egoless pursuit. You don't want to put your name on the dial.
No. But also I'm a sucker, so to say, for the stories of the past that have disappeared, and so Lebois & Co. was one of them. Maybe not as rich as Airain, but it's still there, and it was a gorgeous name. And I came across that browsing, like really looking for old watch brands that have existed, and of course knowing back then about the whole Blancpain story, the success there. So after having found several watch brands that could have been interesting, I came across Lebois & Co. and I stumbled upon that vintage watch that was sold by Christie's in 2012. And then I contacted the original founders, so the original owners of Lebois & Co., Dodin. And
Dodin owned Lebois & Co.
That was the original founder in 1934. Yeah.
Wow.
As with Airain as well. So
interesting. One of the very first watches I ever reviewed was a Dodin.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Type 20. Guess?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I haven't heard anything from them for years though.
Yeah, there's something going on. Apparently, they are in trouble. So the brand is up for sale, as I have read on Europa Star last year.
Tempted?
Yes and no. I mean, we already have this pilot watch brand called Airain, which was, next to Dodin, making almost the same watches, but supplying them to a different, army unit.
Yeah.
The army, not the Air Force. So, yeah, tempted, I know. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it's in your wheelhouse, I guess, but you're absolutely right. You've got a brand that plays that role for you. That chronograph that you've made with Airain, I'm not getting any closer to saying it right, I keep saying the same thing.
That's
okay. Airain, as we'd say in England, is gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. And to be honest, I think it's probably the best, in my opinion, the best model line that you've ever made from top to bottom. But perhaps my favorite watch that you've ever made is from Lebois & Co. And it's the black dial chronograph with the rose gold numerals.
The bestseller.
Is it the bestseller?
Yeah, it's sold out for many months.
I mean, listeners, if you've not had one of these in your hands, this is like the epitome of execution. It is so well done. It's kind of a dream come true, because a lot of us like the style of vintage watches, but we don't actually want to own a vintage watch with all their foibles and, chromed cases and whatnot. This is what all brands who are looking to mine the heritage of their label should do. They should find the design and bring it to life in the best possible way, using the best techniques, excellent finishing. I can't say enough about it. I do think at its price, it is probably the best chronograph on the market.
Thank you.
Well done. Now let's talk about the Airain chronograph. Let's talk about that because there's a huge story there.
Definitely.
Go on, tell me everything.
So Type 20 and 21, a little later, those were specs by the French military, French Ministry of Defense, to supply chronograph watches to the French army. And there were 7 brands that eventually delivered those, including Breguet, Dodin, Fixa, Chronofix, Auricos, and Airain. And taking a little step back. So the Type 20 for us, we thought it should be a reissue. So it should be super close to the original. I think we succeeded in that. I mean, it also takes a burden on us, like, okay, what shall we do to improve it in the future? How should we go and make a modern version of that? But let's not think about that right now. So for us, the Type 20 is as pure and as help me out, as pure as it can be. That's what for us at least a pilot watch should be. And we have done a few iterations now. We're going to open up the case back to show the movement off a little. And and for the rest, not touch it too much. I mean, we have done some collaborations with Second, which was a very fun yet respectful way to do a Type 20. As well as with Alan in the ACE entity to make a white dial with orange accents, as we are both Dutch, of course. Yeah, and I mean it's an important watch for us, the Type 20.
It's a fantastic canvas to play around with, and like you say, respectfully is the word. You've done it very well, and the edition you did with Romaric Andre Second was just great. It was cute and it was fun, but it was still a serious piece of kit.
Yeah, still respectful. Yeah.
And I have to say that Alon's special edition for Ace Jewelers in Amsterdam is one of my favorite executions of the product. It changes its character entirely with the white dial because we're used to seeing it more with dark dials.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was the first that we allowed to do a bright dial. Yeah.
Do you have more collaborations in mind for the future with the chronograph?
With the Type 20?
Yeah, with the Type 20.
Not collaborations, but we will first do some of our own iterations of it.
Okay, very good. And the other major model in the Airain collection is the Submarine.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned that crown cap. So explain that to us. What is that?
So that was an invention by an inventor called Jean-René Parmentier.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with this invention to not allow water coming in to the watch around the crown area, and it was an invention it was an invention that he had to make to not infringe on other inventions and patents that were done by other watch brands such as Rolex.
So it's not a screw down crown.
There's a screw, let's put it this way: there's a screw on crown cap.
Yeah.
So it screws onto the existing crown. So you unscrew it, it gets loose, it goes off, and then you have the real smaller crown right below there.
Which is like a little button winder, basically, isn't it?
It's a very little crown, yeah. But it's still easy to operate, I must emphasize, because it's small, but it's very efficient.
The cap gives the Submarine an incredible character, unlike a lot of other divers. It's just a nice little quirk because obviously,
it's quirk.
I say obviously, most watch collectors probably have 1 or 2 divers in their collection, and a lot of them look very similar. But the silhouette of the Submarine is
that's a little different because of that cap, indeed. Yeah. And it wasn't, we could have done without it. We could have maybe just make a big crown out of it.
Yeah.
But it was just too good to not implement back. And we did a little improvement. So if you unscrew the cap, it doesn't fall off immediately. So that's different than the old pieces. Obviously important because you don't want to lose that cap. Although that we have them in stock, obviously. So
in case it goes,
in case it really goes, and we sell them for €500 euros, so no issue.
Nice. Generous.
Yeah.
So are there any more models planned for Airain?
Well, actually, I brought a book, but all like new stuff. But
No way.
I guess you have to be here, and this is a podcast.
Oh, you can read, can't you?
You can.
Read it out loud. Show and tell. Come on, give me one of these books. Let's have a look.
Let's have. But it's we cannot.
That's a big book.
We cannot talk about all of them. But let's say this: we did a little soul searching. The book you're holding now is for Lebois, and we had all these interesting dial layouts, and there were kind of let's put it this way, a burden coming out of the collab situation, the collab community project, where we came up with like 4 iterations, but they all had different dial layouts. So then we figured, okay, how to move forward out of this and to make like new models without, over flooding our customers with too much dials in one collection. So we came up with actually sub collections like Sector and Script and Artisan, as you now have in front of you.
Okay, I've not seen the Artisan ones yet.
No, I mean that's just on paper. Oh. So, and maybe the most interesting thing to say is that we'll introduce a small seconds version of the Heritage series first, which will be chronometer certified, as the old pieces of Lebois were as well. So also there's a clear line with the history of the models from the brand. And we will build we build out the DNA as it was in our current collection. So it gives us a kind of sense and stability to build that collection. Yeah. So it was an interesting journey over the past months, like half a year.
Yeah, it's interesting because, of course, when you have not many models or one model, really, one sort of canvas with which to express yourself, you can run into a lot of issues because you either feel like you're overdoing it and flooding the market, or you feel like you don't have enough diversity within.
Yeah, so that was a kind of a search, but I think we found it. Let's see. I mean, this gives us like a hold on. I mean, it's heritage, so that makes sense for Lebois for now, and we'll do something modern at some point in time.
Okay,
we're not in a rush.
I'd never thought about that, to be honest. I never really imagined it because it's such a beautiful thing. And you've got to tell me again the categories, the subcategories you've got of the chronograph in Lebois.
So they're not advertised yet, but so there'll be baton, numeral, script, sector, and artisan.
Okay, so there's going to be 5.
Oh, sorry, and I forgot lux.
Lux?
Lux.
Oh, lux.
Which will be based, lux. Translated out of loom, so light. Or translated, from light. Because the vintage piece that we found at Chuck the Oyster, so people can already check it out, then it's no mystery. That was a beautiful chronograph with radium loom on the dial and the hands, like syringe hands. Really gorgeous piece, and we haven't been able to buy it, but so we'll reissue it.
So you're going to bring radium back to what?
Is it allowed? No, obviously we had to find a nice matching Superluminova. But I mean, it's really one of my favorites that's coming out. Yeah.
Great stuff. And aside from the future versions of the models that exist already, what else can we expect to hear or see from the brand, if not in terms of releases, but in terms of activities, traveling, events, partnerships, ambassadors?
Okay. Well, what we are also doing in that whole soul-searching event, we came up with our hero piece, which is now taking shape, and I just cannot reveal too much now, but it will be quite the hero for us.
Why? So, why can't you reveal it? You're stopping you.
You just said before we started, don't reveal too much.
I didn't say that.
No.
No. You imagine that?
Oh,
Don't lie to me.
oh, it will be a gorgeously finished watch.
I wouldn't expect anything.
Movement.
Give me more.
Including movement.
Tell me more.
That's it.
Give me a scoop.
Stay tuned.
Give me a scoop. How long is this going to take?
A few months. Not too long.
Okay. Very exciting stuff.
It's very exciting for us, yeah. And I mean, for me as a, looking at the steps that we did, and it all comes more into place, and that's also part of enjoying the journey more. So yeah,
Okay.
really happy with that.
Do you think this will be the most satisfying piece for you personally to have released?
I'm not sure, because of looking at the others. There's some super nice, good feeling chronographs and small seconds, watches anyway with that as well. So, but at least it will give a sense of, I don't know, achievement. I don't know, something that we really can show, and we're not going to make too much of them. Just
It's a tourbillon, isn't it?
no.
But
I'm happy it's not. I'm happy it's not.
Me too. Yeah.
Because that's not, for me, it's not it's not the hero to make a tourbillon.
But there's something to do with the movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Not just finishing something else.
No.
Silence speaks.
Just looking at the butterflies.
I'm watching the butterflies zoning out. Sorry, I'm going to stop bullying you now. Well, that sounds really exciting. I can't wait to see it in real life in the metal. And like you say, will we have it ready for Geneva Watch Days, that sort of time, do you think?
Yeah, that might be possible. Yeah.
Okay. So watch this space. Where can people see these watches? What are the web addresses for both brands?
So www.lebois.com.
That's LEBOIS.
Yeah, .com, or Airain.com. AIRAIN.com.
Nice. Okay. And stockists. You sold around the world, or?
Yeah, so we actually signed a few retailers here, which is super cool. So starting in Italy now more. We have 12 in Japan, which is amazing.
That's incredible.
Retailer 3, 4, 5 coming in the US soon. And I mean, all over Europe. Just signed one in Germany as well. France.
Do all your retailers
obviously have
take
Alon.
both?
No, it's not necessary. It's of course it's. I think it helps because they're complementary. That's a nice word.
Yeah.
To each other, and they don't overlap. So it's a nice story together, but it's not mandatory. I know that's not what we should ask from our retailers.
You do a lot of events. You're very present in the community.
We try to, yeah.
What's the next event on the horizon for you?
That I'm not sure, actually. We haven't decided yet. So we are doing actually a small event in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
With our agent there. And, if people are from the Milan area and interested to join in May, drop us an email.
Yeah.
But for the rest, nothing confirmed. We're still looking at Wind Up Watch Fair, but nothing confirmed yet.
Okay, last question.
Step by step. I mean, this was obviously the big event for now. I mean, it's amazing here. So.
It's big enough, right? You like it more here at Villa Saracen than at Geneva?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And have you noticed that you're getting like a different caliber of visitor, shall we say, being so close to Polexpo and so convenient for...
Yeah. I think I've seen enough batches from Watches and Wonders.
Yeah.
Of people that were able to scoop over.
Yeah. A lot of journalists have said the same thing. They said previously when it was at Head Geneva, it was just untenable for them to like get out and, pick up.
Yeah, now they can get out, get some fresh air and walk to the villa and back. Yeah.
Last question, price points. What are we talking?
In Euro, 2K for the Submarine, up to 3.5 for the Type 20 and the special, so the limiteds.
Yep.
And Lebois around 3K in Euro. And the upcoming small seconds chronometer certified will be at least below 2. That's the objective for now. So
It's a nice watch. It's
yeah,
going to be great.
thanks.
Love the pictures. Tom, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you for joining me. I wish you a wonderful end to a wonderful fair, and I'll see you soon.
See you. Thanks.
Right, back to the studio for some analysis. That was fun, wasn't it? Always good to sit down with Tom from Airain and Lebois & Co. and, well, CDM Lec as the overarching company. So what did you make of the watches that Tom was showing today?
I didn't join that recording, unfortunately, but I'm lucky enough to speak to Tom very often. And as some might know, I had the honor to create a Type 20 watch together with him that made the permanent collection. That was obviously on display on the first floor within Villa Sarrazin. I did have a little bit of time in between our recordings to roam the several floors of the beautiful villa. Obviously, I stopped by at Tom's CDM Lec booth, where he was indeed exhibiting with two brands. I love it. I think he's on the right track. He takes things nice and slow, and that's what I love about Tom. He has utter respect for the heritage of both brands, and he's pushing forward the legacy. I'm actually dying for him to meet up with Christian to see what their thoughts are of reinventing new types for pilot watches.
Yeah, it is very interesting what he's doing. And as you said, very respectful of the heritage. And he keeps it very tight. Yeah, that's what I like about him as well. So he has this one overarching company, CDM Lec, and within it, CDM Lec, CDMLEC, in case anyone was wondering what we're saying there, because we say it quite quickly these days. Within that, he has the distinct brand of Airain, or Airain, as we might say in English, and Lebois & Co. And neither collection is bulging at the seams, is it? I mean, it's very, very concise. It has the two models in Airain with the Submarine and the more famous Type 20. And then in Lebois & Co., he really focuses on heritage chronographs. And they are absolutely gorgeous. The brands are both easy to understand because they don't pollute each other in any way. There's no disparity in the brand messaging. And I think he's actually someone to look to if you're thinking of starting a brand or reviving an old brand, as how to do it really well, how to make sure that you are creating products that are always on message, easy to communicate, and a lot of fun to wear. Now, you are a fan of a Type 20, obviously, because you did do that gorgeous white dialed with orange accent special edition, which, yeah, it's a real coup that it's become part of the core collection. Beyond that one piece, which I'm sure is your favorite, what else do you like in the Airain collection?
Well, he has the Submarines, which maybe a lot of people miss the fact that he really took the historical fact into account, where the crown is hidden with a oversized crown that covers the original crown. Call it a suit jacket over your gilet. And there is technically no point doing that with modern watches. You have the risk of losing it because it's not tied with a chain or a hook or whatever. He actually adds a spare one in the box when you buy the watch, but it's uber cool. I love it. You also have two versions. You have the Michelin doll hands. So the second hands is stacked circles, let's say, or a lollipop hand. So I love that. He does get out of his comfort zone by doing modern colors and interpretations. I think that's wise. And sorry, I just said Christian, but I meant Sebastian from Albishorn. Of course, apologies. How cool would it be if Tom and Sebastian would team up and they would reimagine an Airain that never existed?
Well, that's a great idea. You know, Sebastian for me was really the revelation of the fair. We'd never met in person, and obviously we'd only recently recorded the Albishorn episode, but what a fascinating, and there it is, my go-to word, what an incredible man, a superb intellect, incredible experience. The breadth of his experience and knowledge in different fields is quite breathtaking. And what he's able to do from a design standpoint as well as a technical is very impressive. And I think anyone in the industry would be wise to team up with Sebastian on pretty much anything he wanted to do, to be honest. I can't wait to see
what else comes from him. Now he's a little more visible than he has been in the past, perhaps, even though he's had a long career working for brands, working for Arnold and Son quite prolifically in his time with them, and of course with Solita and other industry and other institutions. But wow, I mean, what a guy, what an ability. And him teamed up with Tom's character and his affability and his easygoing nature, I think that'd be something to watch. Yeah, very much so. Also, when it comes to the Submarine, I've got a big soft spot for it because I'm a huge fan of Glacétor watches in general and Glacétor Original. And my favorite watch that I own really is my Glacétor Original 1970s Panorama date chronograph in Vibing Orange, which people have probably seen kicking around. So much is it my favorite, in fact, that all of my branded material, all robnuds.com and even 360 Watch now uses a similar shade of orange because I'm so obsessed with it. But one of the sleeper hits in GO is the CQ. Now, the CQ, when it first emerged as in its modern iteration, was something I really dismissed because I was like, what the heck? This is as much as a Submariner or something along those lines at the time. And it's just this basic little skin diver. How good can it be? And then you get it in hand, and the quality of the GO is way, way, way beyond what you'd expect from a diver like that. Now, obviously, the quality of the GO is slightly ahead of the Submarine here, but in terms of style, they're very similar. And this is a very affordable alternative. Like the Submarine from Airain is 1,950 euros, whereas the CQ is closer to 10 these days. And I think that it's an absolute bargain if you like that style, if you want some heritage, if you want to buy into a company that is going in the right direction and run by somebody who we can all get behind, then go for it.
Well said. And I totally agree because I was blown away by the first time I saw the CQ.
It's a watch lover's watch. It's not something that anyone will notice on the street, which is a good thing these days, I think. But it's also just supremely well made, gorgeously finished, and very faithful to the source material that's inspired it. Let's just touch on Lebois & Co. for a minute, because, again, extremely tight brand proposition, known mostly for its chronographs, which I adore. Which is your favorite? Do you have one that sticks out for you above all the others?
So the most commercial one is the black version with the gold Breguet-ish numbers, so it's gilt style. My favorite is hands down, the Heritage one.
Heritage Chronograph Script 324.406. That's the reference to that one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I am very impressed if you knew that by heart, but I have a gut feeling you have a browser open. So that one has actually a waiting list. Now, my favorite is hands down the silver dial with the blue indexes and the scripture on the dial. Although the salmon one is a very second close one, they didn't have any novelties at the fair now, but I heard through the grapevine their cool stuff cooking in the kitchen. So stay tuned.
Yeah, this is another brand. And okay, it's similar to Airain in this sense, but really even more so than Airain. You need to get these in your hand because when you see them online, they look nice, but you don't really see the depth, the warmth of all these designs, the way all the components are just perfectly sized. Very faithful reedition of an old style chronograph with low profile pushers, a nicely sized crown. Wouldn't mind if it was a little bit bigger, but it's certainly big enough and bigger than many modern crowns, that's for sure. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm a bit of a basic bitch on this one. I like the Heritage Chronograph Script 324.406. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm not surprised it's sold out and on a waiting list. But I really do believe that for 3,075 euros, it's just about the best value dress chronograph, if that's a thing, that you can get on the market. So chapeau, Tom, you've done it. Final thoughts?
I am happy that some brands are listening to us. You don't need to bring new watches for the sake of bringing new watches if you A, don't have the creativity, or B, don't actually bring anything new. It's fine if you take it nice and slow and you bring the same stuff. That's okay, because I say that rather often on the show. You don't need always revolutions. Evolution is fine as well. Just look at the brand with the crown.
Nicely said. Nicely said. So this is the first episode that we're going to be putting out in a rapid pace, actually, from Time to Watch Us. We've got a lot of content that we recorded at the fair, and now we feel it's the time to air it so that it's still as current as it can be, and you can all get a little insight into what was going on the ground during the day. So you will be hearing from us regularly, and it will follow the same format. These are all short interviews that were conducted outside the Villa Saracen, and then we're going to do a little bit of analysis at the end of every show. Now we're back on terra firma, having finished flying around the globe in that mad rush that is April and middle of May. So, Alon, nice to speak to you again. It's been too long, and I'm looking forward to hearing you again soon.